Well, this is Dr. Johnny Fever from WKRP, and your name has been drawn from our lucky postcard bin. You got a shot at winning $5,000. Are you ready to play?
Yeah, what the hell?
Okay, Mr. Pasola, for $5,000, name these 6 songs. Okay, Don, how about it? Are you ready to name those songs?
Well, sometimes it just freaks you out when you think somebody's going to win the contest that you didn't think was going to be that easy. But man, you're fooled. People are better at it than you thought. And that's exactly what happened to Imagic that thankfully created this amazing little anomaly for us, a new game that I'm going to cover in today's episode of Old Guys and Old Games. And that is, you see right over here, it is Atlantis II. Where the blazes did this ever come from, right? Well, back in August 1982, it was very common for video game companies to put out contests for their top games, trying to promote sales and such, and give prizes to some of the great players out there in the world, right? And Atlantis and Imagic were no exception. They started a contest upon the release of the game, again in August of 1982, where it was called the Defend Atlantis contest, and they were trying to find the absolute top 4 scorers to take them to Bermuda for a great big playoff. But man, it become a little bit more interesting than that. Anyway, the contest itself, again, the entry forms were available either in early copies of Atlantis that were for sale right off the get-go upon release, and also from a store display that would be up in certain places. I'd love to have one of those displays now, but anyway, you can get the entries that way when you send in your entry, which is a picture of your score. You also had to include a proof of purchase from your instruction manual for the game. And a photo, which really was kind of a bit more challenging back then to get a photo of the screen. I remember trying to do it for Activision patches and such, and it was really pretty challenging to get a clear picture of it. Anyway, all entrants had until October 24th. Imagic had to have actually had to have in hand the photos with the scores of the players best scored Atlantis by October 24th, 1982. And unfortunately, as they were leading up to that date, Imagic came to a little bit of a revelation. There were a lot more great players of Atlantis than they ever dreamed there would be. As a matter of fact, they had several that maxed out the score, and they had over 80, which hit over a score of around 900,000, if you can just imagine, right? So their idea of just taking the top 4 scorers, it wasn't going to work. So they come up with this great idea. And Dennis Koble, who created the original Atlantis, took the game and made an entirely new version. Okay? And they sent out a letter, and I'm going to show you the letter right here that they sent to people, along with a copy, a cartridge, and box of a game they called Atlantis II. And all it was an original Atlantis box, night scene box, which I didn't even realize there were 2 different scenes before looking into this. There's a day scene Atlantis box and a night scene Atlantis box. Well, this was a night scene Atlantis box with this, just like a label that you would buy for your printer, although those not printer then, you would fill them out and stick them on envelopes, right? With typed right onto it, Atlantis II. So 80 some of these went out to different contestants who were invited to take part in a secondary semi-final contest to become one of the top 4 scorers to get invited to Bermuda for the big contest. Amazing, right? So this game that Dennis Koble made, called Atlantis II, it is basically Atlantis with a few very, very small changes. Well, first of all, it's kind of a big change. It's extremely difficult. The game's a lot more fast, starts right off, full bore, and it's like playing deep into the game right when you start. So it's very, very difficult and faster. But the other 2 things which are probably most noticeable are, first of all, the font is different for the score, which is really strange. I don't understand exactly why that's the case. And the other thing was that the point scheme was totally different. It was much lower. So, like, you know, you used to get 100 or 200 or 1,000 or 2,000 points for hitting the different things in Atlantis. Well, it's a very low number now. So the scores were like in the single, well, they were like 3, 4, 5 digits were high scores, right? As opposed to what we were seeing with the original game. So, yeah, they were really strict with this too. They sent these games out. They gave everybody 2 days to play the game. And then they had until October 29th, these 80-some people, till October 29th to get, to postmark the picture back to them for their score in the new Atlantis II. so they could pick the top 4 people to go to Bermuda for the big contest. So really friggin' interesting. Now also everybody who got sent that, like I say, maybe the biggest bonus, frankly, at the time right now, is that every single one of those 80 some people got a copy of this Atlantis II. There are very, very few of them out there. I'd love to have one. I do not have one. Of course I don't have one. I don't even know where very many are. They're in the hands of big collectors. Absolutely. I'd love to have one, like I said, but still, that was really one of the big prizes, but they also were giving out things like t-shirts and snorkel sets, Atlantis, right? And such, and all the people who were invited in the semifinal of the contest were given those prizes as well. So it's really pretty interesting. It was in November that year. They invited, had 4 different people with one companion, one friend could also go with them, they pay for. But, of course, 3 of the 4 were minors, so there had to be a parent that went with them. And there's a lot of not really known for sure exactly who won, except for there is an article from Blip magazine, which I saw a clip on. There's a great interview on the Atari Compendium with Dennis Koble. And in that, they talk about how there's an article in Blip magazine that talks about Andrew Levine from Needham, Massachusetts, who supposedly won the $10,000 grand prize. And really not much more is said than that. He had a score of like 1,968,800 on this game. I just can't possibly imagine it. But anyway, really, really interesting story. Very interesting game. One that I, just like I've said 3 times already, would love to have, but realistically we're not going to have it. But it's great to be able to play it in the ROM here, that's for sure. So anyway, without any further ado, let's move it on and we'll check out and you can take a look at Atlantis II. Quite a blast from the past, let me tell you. Here we go.
Congratulations, Mr. Pasola. You just won $5,000.
You're kidding.
All right, here we are. It doesn't look a whole lot different, does it, from here? You're going to see a big difference in just a moment. The speeds will really ramp up. Watch the score. The score looks so different when it's up there. And also, like any of this solid, like a 6 or a 4 that has a solid spot filled in, the numbers are filled in too. It looks really weird. What else is different? I don't know. You're just going to see how it's different. The score itself, I'm going to be lucky to get like a couple hundred in this game. And you get a couple hundred for 2 ships in the other one, right? But anyway, let's do it. Why wait any longer? I'll probably play a couple games of it. Here we go. All right. Three points. Ah! They're not even moving yet. Oh! 32 after the first round. I've lost 2 things already. Mercy. Look, there's 58. Look at that. That's how the 8 looks so strange. Mercy. Get through the whole round. I got 14 points. That's it. 74. Wow, we got to try it again. The ship still goes up anyway. Wow, is that ever tough? All right, here we go. Oh, there's a slow one. 5. I get a point for each one. 10, up to 45. Nice. Okay, that still worked. A little bit better this time. I really find I'm using the guns, the angle guns, more and more. Oh! I could have gotten that if I was 99. Okay, here we go. $122. Look at those go! Hey, we got one. And another one. These must be worth 10. Oh no! I want to get 200 here. Oh, not gonna get there. 187. We're gonna try her again. Wow, is this ever challenging? So neat, and what a piece of history, right? All right, one more time. Oh, stupid. I was doing quite well. Ah, there we go. Okay. Nice. Keep the shots going up there. There we go. Oh. Oh, nice. Okay. Come on. I have no idea what you need to get the center gun back. I don't plan on getting it. Oh, I might get 200 this time. Can I get 200? Maybe not. Oh, I get over 200. I'm happy. Look at that thing fly. Aha. Oh. How did that not blow it up? Oh, there it goes. 267. That's my best one by far. And that, guys, is Atlantis II. When you really want to challenge, it is a great way, if you're good at Atlantis, to challenge yourself by playing this version because, man, it's really cranked up, let me tell you. Let's go back over to the other screen here. There we go. So, once again, Atlantis II, what a great story. Again, check out the interview with Dennis Koble on Atari Compendium. There's also an article on in the Atari Age forums about this as well. That I looked at, and really interesting stuff. A lot of people looked at this over the years. It would be wonderful to pick up one of these games. Remember, it was the box that had that sticker on it. Just a label like you would buy at the Staples, and somebody typed Atlantis 2 on it, stuck it on the box, sent it off to 80 some people. The cartridges didn't have the labels on them. So the next time you're going through, like they say, you're going through the dollar bin and you see a bunch of Atlantis cards sitting there, and if it's a night label, you might want to pick it up just in the off chance that you got yourself an Atlantis 2 in your hands. Anyway, man, she really stayed flaked out this video. Thanks a lot for spending a little bit of time with me today here on Old Guys and Old Games, looking at this great bit of history, and we'll see you in the next video. More Imagic Atari 2600 games to come. Take care.
Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. If you have
Hey, this is Ferg from the Atari 2600 Game by Game podcast, and you are watching Papa Pete, the Old Guy Gamer.
what?